want to know what is it that we've got that we can share between us. Can I make connections, relationships for the future? Can we share our knowledge in the room? So that when we leave, rather than thinking, oh, that was very interesting, or it's the best conversations sometimes are at coffee time, aren't they? Or even when you're, for the ladies, when you're queuing in the loo. And it's those conversations that I think usually are the most productive ones. So what I want for this morning is to have lots of those sort of conversations. The sheets that hopefully each of you have now begun to own, this isn't for you to complete at the end. It's for you to use as a memoir and also a sort of pooling as you go along. And it also forms a sort of free-flowing agenda. Okay? So we're going to, you started hopefully to start to find new friends, find out things about people you knew before that you didn't realise that might be helpful to you, and also to start to catch up on what happened before, because we can actually benefit, but we very rarely reflect on the sorts of things that we know about, because we're always doing them, we think everybody knows about them. It's also an opportunity for you to stand back and reflect, okay, what have I learned from this? And I think quite often we're so busy doing that we don't have the time to actually stand back, learn from what's been going on. So either we have inadvertent success, which we can't learn from, and we certainly don't learn from things when they could be done differently for the future. So again, I hope will be an opportunity for you to reflect on your own practice, your own things that are going on, and learn from yourself as much as opportunities to learn from other people as well. I'm always accused of starting things halfway through, and I just realised I have. Most people I know, but there's a few people I don't know. So my name's Marie Huxtable. I've been developing and coordinating APEX now for many years, and this is now, I don't want to say in its death throes, but how can we generatively bring this to a conclusion? Because as the funding is finished, then APEX finishes. So some people know about some parts of APEX, but not others. So it doesn't just comprise the Saturday workshops for the youngsters or the summer opportunities for the kids. It also comprises a research group, it comprises INSET, it comprises the sorts of relationships and knowledge that you've developed over the years, and many people throughout the authority and beyond, and how that's actually contributed to the development of inclusive understandings of gifts and talents in education. By that I mean, talents aren't just what you've got, it's what you worked on. How do I know what I can do until I've done it? And I'm very passionate that we live that spirit, because otherwise we say to our young children and young people that you either are or you're not, rather than you can become what it is you want to become and actually make your contributions in ways that you want to make them. And that takes effort. The work that a lot of people are drawing on at the moment suggests it takes something like 10,000 hours over about 10 years of really dedicated attention to the detail of the work. And it's not just a case of doing the same thing over and over and over again, but actually doing that very creatively and critically on how you can continue to improve what it is that you're doing. So that very much has been the spirit of what I've been working on. And I can't see how we can help children and young people develop those appreciations of themselves, what it is that they want to bring into the world, where their passions are, what they would actually devote sufficient energies to really take it to a level that they would get deep satisfaction from and actually contribute hugely to society if we don't live that ourselves. I don't see any difference between my learning and people's learning and children learning. If it's not good enough for me, why on earth am I trying to do this for kids? And I think they can quite rightly turn around quite often and say, well, you say we should be doing it, but you're saying it's only good for kids, not for adults? What does that say about our whole understandings of what it's about? So that's what I'm about. We've got a couple of things that will be coming events that we will use as, if you like, the grit in the oyster, to some pearls as we go along. So I'll come back to these again. 30th of June, we'll be having a Young People's Conference. In the 22nd and 26th of July, there'll be the Children's and Young People's learning opportunities as we've had them before. But the finale on the 26th of July will be an opportunity for us to actually share all of our understandings. What have we learned? What are we doing now? And projecting into the future, so that people like to actually share what is it that they're going to be doing for the future. And then I'll come into more detail about the 26th later on. But for now, I'd like to, as I've interrupted your conversations, to actually use that as a spur to actually then start to move you around, to talk with other people about those reflections on what is it that you've done, what you've known about, what is your learning been. And if you would, as you go around, keep hold of your sheet. This is your sheet. You can own it. Put your name on it. And there's not a case of filling things in at the end. But as you go along, if you'd like to make a note, then what we can do afterwards is put some of these notes up on the Living Legacies site, so that people can actually share more widely with those people who haven't managed to talk to, and you might find other connections to make. Okay? So that's what the purpose of this sheet is. So please, as you go on, you'll find as you move around, there'll be somebody who will periodically facilitate the table if necessary. But they will be filling this as well. Is that okay? Everybody cool with that? Jack's videoing the whole of this morning. I will put that up on the web as well, so that people can actually get a sense of what sort of things happened, because there's a number of people who've sent their apologies. Somebody phoned me up just as we were about to start, saying that they were trying to get here, but they've been called in to cover for a sick colleague, just as she was getting in the car. You can imagine she's well pleased. And we've had a couple of other people. I know other people have wanted to come, but haven't been able to. So the video this morning will help other people. If they want to dip in and out, they could be part of this conversation and it can live on. Okay? If there's anybody who does not want to be videoed, can you please just have a word with Jack and he'll try and make sure that you're not in it. But there's no, I can't imagine that you're going to be saying anything that you think, goodness, that's going to get on the news of the world, I don't want that to follow me for life. Hopefully some of the things that we'll be sharing later are things that actually, when you stand back, you think, no, that's really nice that actually people will be able to connect up with that. We're not used to being able to share in other circumstances what we think of, oh no, that's just me. Well, I'm asking you to be generous. To offer as a gift what it is that you've been doing, your thinking, your ideas, and how that might help other people. You've no idea of how that can help. Sometimes it's really serendipity that you find ideas from other people. If they hadn't been that generous, you wouldn't have it. So I'm asking you to be generous as well. So I've said about Jack. The other person that I want to introduce you to at the moment is Karen Dews, who will be taking some photographs again so that we can start to document this morning. Because now, it's not just what we've learned through Apex over the time, but it's the relationships and knowledge and those sort of understandings that we can actually develop. And this morning is part of that legacy. So we'd like to create some of the documentation. And Andy Hennon will be talking to you, both going around, and particularly talking to you later on about the book and how that might contribute. So if you don't want any photographs, then you need to make sure that you say to Karen. Okay? Right, that's enough of me. I'm doing all right so far. I have lots of people in this room who keep me in check periodically, just as well. So, if you'd like to, in a couple of minutes, I said before, I gave you some warning that I'm going to move you on, a bit like speed dating. Okay? So, when I finish rabbiting on, if you'd just like to sort of finish your conversations, just briefly, and then have a look across a busy room and see somebody you don't know, and see if you can go and find them and go and join another table, so that you can actually then extend your networks and find out what is it that you've been doing, what is it that they've been doing, and actually by talking with other people, sometimes we appreciate things that we haven't done before, we haven't recognised before, even in our own practice. Okay? So I'll ask you if you'd like to continue and finish your conversations that you're having, and then if you'd like to move, and if you don't like to move, we will still be encouraging you to actually move and find somebody else to talk to. Okay? And we'll see how things go in about 10 or 15 minutes. I think we'll do one more move on. Okay?